The new movie Young Washington is seen by most as a new historical film about a figure in America's past. But it has a deeper meaning in it, one that I think young men in particular need to hear, and it's not what you think. What's rockin' my rock and roll? Today's video is going to be not a review, but something I want to talk about with the new movie Young Washington that I just saw earlier today. So this is Tuesday the 7th. I'm recording this, so I might upload this Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. I don't know whenever I get this edited out. But I saw the movie, and this is not going to be a review of the movie. This is going to be something that I noticed within the movie that I really wanted to talk about. So, for those of you who don't know, Young Washington is like a new movie from that Angel Studios, and like a kind of semi-new, like independent studio. I think they're based in Utah, and this movie is about, obviously, it's about a young George Washington at early in his life when he was still still wanting to be a British officer before he turns and started the American Revolution. And the movie itself, just real quick, it was good. It's not perfect. It has some pacing issues. I think I read somewhere it had it used AI like in some of the shots, which I didn't really notice myself. I wasn't paying attention, but I heard it kind of caused a storm when that news broke. But the movie itself, it's fine. It was entertaining, and I do think you should go see it, especially for one reason. Now, is that one reason? Oh, it's like a movie about like America's founder. Not founder, but like one of the four founders, a historical movie about our country's past. No, although yes, that is one of them, but the bigger reason is there is something in here, a lesson that I think young people, particularly young men, need to hear. And I think it's time that, I don't want to say that, this word gets out, so to speak. And that is what I can best describe is the old order versus the new order. So, I don't really know where I begin with this, but basically, the old order can be seen as like the old way of doing things. So, like, as an example, like in the movie, this is, slight spoilers for the who don't know history, but I can spoil history, but in the movie, it takes place, in Virginia, in the colonies, in Washington. He's tasked with, he volunteers to survey, the Ohio Territory, which at that time had not been surveyed. So he goes out there and he discovers that the French are building a fort on what's supposed to be, British land. And he's tasked with asking them to leave. They say no, and then, battle ensues, so to speak. I'm missing some parts, but that's the gist. And in that, there is a part where, like, Washington, he wants to be a British officer. That's, like, his main, aspiration in life. And there's scenes before that lead up to him finding the fort. That's him, talking to people about, how, I want to, I have ambition. He has ambition. He wants to, change the world, so to speak. He wants to do things no other people have. He has that drive. And people keep knocking him down, that's not how the real world works, kid. Like, for instance, there's one scene where he meets with the French, basically tell them so Washington has orders from the governor of Virginia to say, hey, this is our land, get out, so to speak. And they have a dinner scene with the French, officers, and the French, I forgot his name, the French, general guy talks to Washington and says, hey, this is a new world. This is a new world, and you're playing by the old set of rules. Now, this French general is not the first person to tell Washington. There's multiple people throughout the movie that tell him, hey, dude, this is a new world. We don't have to play by the old rules. The old rules being, the British Empire. How we used to, have two sides on a battlefield, and they just walk towards each other and shoot each other, which is, when you look back, it's kind of stupid that we did that. Why did we do this? Just out in the open. And so to jump ahead a little bit, the battle ensues, and the French use, how can I say that, guerrilla tactics. They don't do, the two sides march each other like they used to. They go to the trees, they shoot from the trees, they team up with Indians, and they just charge. They do things that the British at the time had not run across. And in the movie, Washington struggles because he's still in the mindset, battlefield-wise of, hey, we have to do the marching, we have to do what we've done before, even though there's multiple people telling him, hey, you have to change this. And spoilers, like I said, The battle goes south fast. You know, he suffers a major defeat. He loses a great friend, and he surrenders. And Washington comes back. You know, anyway, he skip for a little bit. He's given a second chance to go through and kind of rescue. Not kind of rescue, but to regain his honor, so to speak. Like, he's demoted from like the militia to just like a surveyor, kind of guide. And he joins back up with them to go out, and the British are going to kick the French out. They're going in full force to take him out. But the interesting thing is, after suffering this huge defeat, losing a great friend, his mindset's changed. He realizes, like, oh my god, like, these people were right. Like, this is a new world. So he tries to tell, like, the British general, like, hey, like, shoot from the trees. Do not go out in the open. That's how they get you. They're not going to play by honor. Because that's the mistake Washington made. There's, in the first battle, he's like, oh, the French, they're gonna, like, someone told him, like, hey, they're gonna shoot from the trees when we're out in the open. And Washington's like, no, they're gonna fight with honor. That's what the French are. And a few scenes later, the French shoot from the trees. And because of that, Washington knows, like, oh, hey, things have changed. But again, the British don't want to listen to him. So they kind of go, oh, yeah, whatever. This young kid don't know what he's talking about. And so what happens? The big major, British army comes in. They get ambushed by the French, by the trees. The same thing that happened to Washington. But Washington, who is now, like, I guess, survived this once before. He knows what to do. He uses guerrilla tactics against the French. And he wins this small battle, which that's basically it. And I thought, like, watching it, it was so, like, I don't want to say incredible, like, impactful. Like, oh my god, like, this is kind of like what we're dealing with as a society. The new order versus the old order, or new order versus old world, whatever you want to talk, whatever you want to describe it as. So the old world, so to speak, would be like, oh, like, you go to school, like, you go to college, you graduate, high school sweetheart, college sweetheart, whatever, like, you get a good job, you stay there for, however many decades, you get a pension, you retire at 65, all good and done. And yeah, that was, good for a time, but now, in 2026, that's gone. I don't want to say gone, I kind of, struggle there to say, did I say gone? It's not gone, but if you do follow that, it's not like you're gonna, let's just say this. If you do follow that, I think you're going to be at a huge disadvantage. Because, like I said earlier, this world, like, with the internet now, AI, you can earn money online. You can run a whole business from your laptop if you wanted to in any country, whichever said business you have. Like, that old order, the old world, it doesn't work. And that's not saying it doesn't work, but it's like, there are other alternatives now. We don't have to do that same old thing that generations before us have done. You see all these articles, like, I think, what is it, like, one in 3 young men aren't working or aren't looking for work in the workforce, which I don't know if I believe that 100%. Like, surely out of that 1/3, yeah, there is a percentage that's just, sitting down doing nothing. Okay, like, yeah, there is. But there's also part of them that, like, maybe they're entrepreneurs, maybe they're trying to start a business, maybe they're trying to do something online, maybe they're living with friends trying to start something. I don't know. They're just, like, part of me, like, yes, like I said, there's a part of that group is that not doing anything, but there's also a large part, in particular, of young people in general, but particularly young men, who have realized that the game is rigged. They're like, wait a minute, like, I'm gonna do something else. Like, I'm not gonna do the same things that my father, my brother, my grandparents, whatever, did, and they ended up, like, screwed in the end. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna try something new. And I thought, like, just going into this movie, I didn't expect that at all. I just was hoping for, like, a decent, good movie, which I got, but I also got, like, a message that was deeper, and I think it's a message that young people, like I said, but young men in particular, need to hear. Because let's face it, like, men are like the doers and leaders, and women are the followers. It's just, it is what it is. And women will argue, oh, like, no, we're leaders. No, you're not. Like, you follow the men. You follow whichever way the culture's going. Just don't lie. Now, maybe I looked way too hard into this movie and saw something that others didn't, but I don't think I did. It was just kind of shocking that a movie, granted, this is not a Hollywood movie, this is like an independent studio movie, put a message out there that kind of is, like, admirational for young men to follow. That was something I did not expect going into this, but I am really glad, it's in there. So, I guess I'm kind of rambling now, but to end this video, the movie Young Washington, go see it. Not because if you like history, which, you know, the founding of our country or the starting of the founding, all that's there, but like look through it with the lens of, oh, not just, you know, the movie, the setting of the movie, but also like our society, like, you know, the 20th century, you know, I guess, what do you want to call it, like boomer mentality, I guess. All the retire at 65, get a house, you know, 2 kids in a car, you know, whatever, versus the 21st century, which is like, I don't know, like the gig economy, Uber, online stuff, you know, advertising, stuff like the modern day stuff, like streaming, like I said, anything, basically making money outside of the traditional like W-2 employer. That's kind of like the best way I can describe 21st century. There's not really a concrete definition yet because we're still, you know, in it. We're still like, it's still evolving, but the gig economy, let's just say, making money outside of the traditional W-2 employment. That's just the best way I can describe it. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Like I said, maybe I just saw something that wasn't there, but I don't think I did. I think that there is like a secret hidden message. Not really. That's not like the filmmakers are trying to, like, you know, give a message to young people. Like, no, I think if you are one of these disenfranchised young men, which I'm not gonna be honest, I'm one of them. I kind of fall. I mean, I have a job outside of this, which sucks now, but hopefully that's not the case in the future. These young men, I think a lot of them have figured out the game is just against them. They're like, why am I going to participate in this? So I can end up like, you know, my boomer father or boomer grandfather who's like nothing, who has nothing to his name. Like, I don't want to end up like this. Like this new path, this 21st century online technology stuff, like this is the future. And I think this movie just kind of retroactively enforces that. That makes sense. I'm starting to like go way off course. I don't really know how to end this video, but anyway, guys, Young Washington, go see it, and go see it with the mindset of like the old ways versus the new ways, because that's what Washington goes through in the movie. And just seeing like a movie character, like a story-wise, go through that, I think it kind of helps that mentality. Like when I try to tell people like old world versus new world, they don't really understand it. So I think seeing like a story, like a character in a movie go through it, it kind of like shows someone like, oh wait, oh, this is an example, this is what, like, you know, I'm talking about right here, this is what James is talking about. So go see Young Washington with that mindset and tell me what your thoughts. Also, if you have seen Young Washington and you didn't see that, did you like the movie, did you not like it? Comment below and let me know, and please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.